So I didn't start drinking until I was probably in my 20s. I grew up as a Christian. I went to Christian school, um, and I just was never around a lot of alcohol. And um, because of my job type, I'm in sales. Networking is involved, and I was never really considered ever an extrovert, in my opinion. Um, so as I went to these networking events, I would start drinking something like maybe a Jack and Coke or a Jack and Diet Coke or things like that. Just kind of loosen up, trying to fit in, because I didn't want club soda, and those are disgusting. But fast forward, um, as I started developing more stress in my life, and from success in business and success and just um, trying to make the American dream happen for my family, I started drinking even more, and that's when depression started hitting in if I didn't see the results I wanted, and so on. And so, about 5 years ago, I started drinking more heavily. Like I would, after work, I would just walk 2 doors over and have a few beers, and then I would have a networking event and have a glass of the wine, or it wasn't. It was never a certain type of alcohol. It was just any alcohol, and because I knew that I would loosen up by drinking alcohol, I never craved alcohol. I craved the quietness in my head, and I let it control me. And this is before I realized that alcohol was depressant. I had no idea. I mean, I hear about that now. It seems so natural to know that, but I didn't know that. So the more depressed I became, the more I drank, not realizing that it was just accelerating my depression. So because of this and some other life choices, because of this and some other life choices, that it really led to hardship in my marriage and of 19 years and pressure and things like that, and me wanting to live a certain way but not necessarily realizing that I was taking things for granted in my real life. That was devastating to me. Devastating to my wife and my kids. So, fast forward, ended up I ended up getting divorced from my wife for 19 years. It was finalized like on our 20th year, and that shot me even down further into depression. Um, I was just drinking every single night just to not think about what I did to my life. And um, I'll go out and get beer, and then I'll just drink at home. And I was hiding it from everybody, or I was trying to hide it from everybody. Um, it's funny, really, the only people that knew what was going on were the people that I was calling in a drunken state, knowing that I was drunk. But if people would see me around town or whatever, they weren't aware unless they actually saw me in a bar or something like that. And I started drinking so much that it was to the point that I didn't have any appetite. I didn't want to eat. I felt nauseous, um, stomach aches and things like that. I just did not want to eat. Or I'd have a couple bites and then I wouldn't eat anything at all because I didn't realize realize what was going on in my body. I started falling down a lot because of drinking so much alcohol that I was so unstable that I would just fall down or pass out. I would pass out and smack my face on Legos, for instance. My boys were over and they left because at the time, because of divorce, I had agreed to not drink around my kids and things like that, and I'd have a breathalyzer to do that. And it was just embarrassing, you know, that my kids hadn't learned what I was doing that way, how I was affecting them. The worst part for me was when I fainted without any alcohol while being sober in my front yard with my kids around. One of my boys ran up to the front door and took video of me because he was so scared, while the other one bent down and was calling my name, asking me to come too. And fortunately I did just seconds later, but that scared them. That left a lasting impression upon them. And that was just scary, you know. I would go to baseball games, and I went to one baseball game, and I nearly fainted sober again, passing out sober. That my blood pressure heart rate was just dramatically low. My best friend at the time took me to a local restaurant and said that I needed to make a difference. I needed to make a difference in my life, and it changed my life. So I signed up for rehab. It was a 7-day detox, and that was definitely good for me. But just about a month later, my mom passed away from cancer, and even after the detox, I thought that I was able to stay sober, but I just was still depressed. So I dipped into it again and started drinking even more. Until my mom's cancer came back, and that was a really sad time. We all lose parents, unfortunately. But I was so hungover on the morning that my mom passed away that I wasn't at the hospital when she died. I should have been. My dad called me. I remember specifically that my dad called me, and I was able to talk to my mom, and they were wondering where I was at. My mom was not very coherent, but while I was on the phone with her, I heard her take her last breath. And I like to try to find peace in making me think that she was waiting to hear my voice before she took that last breath, because my dad and my sister were there. So I'll never forget that. Then the week of my mom's funeral, my health provider called me up and said, you need to go to the emergency room right away. Your kidney level, your potassium levels, and I don't know all the medical terms, but my potassium levels were so low that it was very, 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 like I could have died. I had fallen on my face. I have a scar still. You might not be able to see it right there. Scar on my nose. Went to the doctor, and they said that it's amazing that I was alive. That I should have been dead. I should have had a heart arrhythmia. I should have died. My liver, kidneys were basically on the verge of stopping. They were stopped working. So they hooked up the IVs, pumped me full of medications and IV liquids and potassium, and I almost missed my mom's funeral. I was released on a Friday before my mom's funeral. that week, July 17th of 2023, was the last time I took a drink. Um, Fortunately, I was able to. I've been 2 years sober. Being an alcoholic, I'm a recovering alcoholic, but I'm still an alcoholic. The amount of judgment and everything is just unheard of. As a Christian that lives in a Christian community, seeing these things. So I made this channel. I made this channel because my point is, my desire is to hopefully bring some hope, is hopefully to show some grace, to give some grace, to provide some understanding. You see, we're not made to be going through this world alone. And I'm here for you, and your friends are hopefully there for you, family, God. So that's why I created this channel, because I really hope it can make a difference in your life and continue to make a help in my life. This is not about me and like, look at me, 2 years sober. There are people that still struggle with 19 years sober, 25 years sober, 30 years. This is just me walking along with you, sharing my story, you sharing your story. It's an interesting journey for sure. And there you have it. There's a portion of my story, and I hope you got something out of it, or maybe you can relate to it. But if you have a story and you want to share it, please message me and let's talk. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.